Hello out there, everyone, again. Welcome back to the SkiRex Media Podcast. Yet again this week we have a brand new interview, but before we get to that, we'll get to Whaleback Mountain, which I always do. You know I do this. Everybody knows I do this. Why? Because I love Whaleback Mountain, and they love me. It's a big, loving family, kind of, sort of. Actually, we're just good friends, and I like to ski there as often as I can, and I will be this season. Whaleback Mountain, they have everything you could ever want in a ski mountain in a tiny little package. Just because it's small doesn't make it bad. They have all the terrain you can want. You want it easy? They got it easy. You want it hard? They got it hard. You want it groomed? Groomed. Natural? Natural. Trees? They got trees. They'll teach you how to do it, and you can go in the lodge and warm up just like anywhere else. One of the most accessible ski hills that I've ever seen, right off the interstate, right off of I-89 on exit 16 in Enfield, New Hampshire. It's right there. You can't miss it, and if you do, you might not want to be driving because you're not looking around. Whaleback Mountain, ski it to believe it. It's a great place. All kidding aside, everybody check it out if you can. Now, we're getting into gear this week. When I get into gear, well, let's be honest, I usually don't. Why? Because like with many things, I don't know what I'm talking about. I have what I have, and that's what I know. But what you do, or what you may not know about me, is that I like to customize everything. And this is why this caught my eye, and I had to contact them. I did. I had to ask, hey, someone want to come talk to me and tell me all about this? And they said yes. So let's get into this. Corinne Swinford from Mingos. Ski Poles, how are you doing, ma'am?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Pardon me tongue tripping over myself real quick. I'm just excited, and that happens sometimes. So Mingos. Well, you know what? Before we get into the product, let's get into you. Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so like you said, I'm Corinne. I'm a mechanical engineer, technically. And I love to ski. I also love to snowboard, which is a little controversial, I guess. But I love to ski, and I also like to customize everything I can. So yeah, I had this idea. Ski poles are pretty boring, at least everything that I could find on the market. So that's where we're at. I've been making my own. So yeah.
Very good. You are a legit skier, which is very good, and snowboarder, which is fine here. We don't, well, all right, there might be a couple who might say something, but I'm not one of those people. I don't do both because I stink at snowboarding. I admit it. I've never got the hang of it, so I never went back. But, so you are a legit skier. You're out there in the West, correct?
Yeah, so I'm in Southern California, which is not exactly the best place to be a skier, but I make it work. My husband and I try to take several ski trips throughout the winter. So we try to explore. Honestly, California mountains are probably not my favorite. They're a little crowded. So we've been, especially in the recent years, trying to check out new places. You're back east, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't really have much experience with the skiing back there. But we go all kinds of places, Colorado, Wyoming, things like that, Utah. So, yeah.
Very good. So you're an explorer then. You head out all over the place. Would you perhaps be an Indy Pass holder as someone who's talking about the crowds and trying to avoid them?
I am not an Indy Pass holder, but maybe I should be.
Here on SkiRex Media, we 100% suggest the Indy Pass because I use it, have for the last few seasons. Let me tell you, I have found more places that I've never even heard of, and 100 plus mountains. I don't even try and count them anymore. No, this isn't a real plug for the Indy Pass. I just know those guys and they know me, and all of us, we love it. So totally a suggestion for you. But beyond skiing, you said you're an engineer, so you have this covered from beginning to end. You're doing this on your own-ish.
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, I am a mechanical engineer by trade. I've been in the construction industry, commercial construction, so not exactly the ski equipment industry. But I have some background in design and trying to build things. So it's been definitely a learning process for sure.
All right, that's cool. Hey, learn something new every day. That's what I always say. That's what I say every single day. And if you're going to start somewhere, you might as well start with something easy, or easy, relatively speaking. Lord knows if one was to try and build skis, that's a whole process. that I don't fully understand. But then again, I'm not an engineer. I'm not a designer. I don't know anything. So let's go to ski poles. Now, was it just a want for customization? Like, you're right. I have not seen anything. I mean, things have some color, but that's mostly for, at least I think, company logos. Like, it's black with blue lettering with white outlines with some kind of fancy design. You obviously wanted
Yeah.
something beyond that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the ski design is a whole nother complicated thing. So I was not about to try to get into that, but that was kind of what spurred this whole effort. Was my husband actually bought me a pair of skis several years ago for my birthday, and I went to go get fitted for my boots. I looked at the poles that they had in the shop, and they really didn't have any good options. They were all, black, gray, white, maybe a little pop of red, like you said, in the logos or text from the brand.
Sure.
But really nothing fun. And my skis were fun. I have Black Crows skis that are white with turquoise stripes. So I wanted a pop of color. And I figured, well, they have everything online. I'll just go online and get poles that way. The poles aren't as technical. So as long as I know the height and relatively so what kind of grip I like, then that should be fine.
Sure.
Went online and really couldn't find anything that fully matched what I was looking for. I ended up with some bright yellow Solomon ski poles that were fine. They were bright yellow. The pole themselves was bright yellow, but they still had like a black and white grip.
Yeah.
Basically, any of the companies I could find that made any sort of colored poles, they would still always have like a black grip or a black basket. Just yeah,
Yeah.
nothing that I was really excited about.
And
So
that's fair.
yeah, so I've had this idea for a while, and then it took me another couple of years to sort of act on anything. I guess it was COVID boredom. I needed some sort of a I needed some sort of a project, and I was curious about where I could go with it. So yeah, I just started really researching ski poles and what was out there and how they're made, and you know all kinds of all kinds of things, and could we actually do this? And now, yeah, we've launched. We're in the pre-order phase right now. We should have the polls ready in November. So we're trying to get those shipped out then, and then yeah, we're excited. I hope to see some people on the mountains with Mingos poles this season.
And I wouldn't be surprised if you did. Skiing in part is, I don't really want to say a fashion show, but we see people. I mean, let's date it. Let's go back to the 80s and date ourselves a little bit. Well, I can date myself a little bit with this. I was a kid in the 80s, but I saw it, in the 80s coming into the 90s, all the vibrant, bright colors and all this kind of stuff. This kind of throws back to that in a way.
Exactly. Yeah, and that style, that 80s, 90s bright, vibrant style has come back into the ski world. There's people with their colorful onesies, and the artwork on the
Yep.
skis is cool. The boots are getting cooler. Everything is getting more colorful, and yeah, more of a fashion statement.
Yeah, poles are just a tool that we all seem to carry. They don't really match the radical styling of the old days, which, hey, I'm glad it's coming back. I get a kick out of it, man, from the artwork to the clothes to the music, right up to the ski poles. Now, it caught my eye. I actually this caught my eye on Instagram. I'm just, mindlessly scrolling like people do these days. And I see orange. Orange is my favorite color. So it caught my eye. I was like, oh, what's this? I was like, what company is that? Who's making this? And obviously did a deeper dive. And here we are, Mingos. Now, what's in a name? Why Mingos?
Mingos is technically short for flamingos. Just because
Aha.
I've always liked flamingos. They're a very colorful, bright, fun animal. So
Sure.
that was sort of the inspiration. That's the vibe that we want our company to project, I guess, and our brand. So
Cool.
yeah, that's where the name comes from. And we have the sort of the 5 core colors at this point, which is, as you said, the orange, and that's sort of our main brand color, because I as well like orange, and I think it really pops and,
Nice.
catches people's eyes. And then we have the flamingo pink, a light blue turquoise, a very fun green, sort of a frog green, and then a pretty traditional bright yellow, French fry yellow. So yeah, we have their actual technical names are French fry yellow, bluebird, flamingo pink, off-piste orange, and which one am I missing? Green, easy green.
Nice. Now,
So we have had some special requests for purple. There's a lot of people out there that apparently want purple.
nice.
We're hoping to definitely expand our colors, but we got to start somewhere. So.
No, absolutely, totally. And it's a good color palette. Again, it's the brights, it's the eye catching. Like I said, the orange caught my eye. I wouldn't mind riding a pair of the green ones either, because I do have a fluorescent high vis runner's vest that I wear while I'm skiing. Not really like for runners, that's a safety thing. You don't want to get hit by a car. For a skier, I guess I could call it safety, but let's be honest, it's narcissism and I want people to see me. That's what that is.
You don't
So
want to get hit by
I
a
wouldn't.
skier either, or a snowboarder.
No, not at all. And as I've been hit before, it's fine. I mean, as long as you don't get hit too hard, you might make a new friend out of it if you could take a deep breath and not get angry, which is my problem now. They're very cool. They look very cool. Now, you can customize so far. And again, there's not a lot that goes into a pole. It's only a few basic pieces, but you can mix and match and color all those pieces with your product. The grips, the straps, the shaft, and the basket.
Correct. And actually the cool part and what makes us super unique is that you can actually swap them out. So right now we're selling the base poles where you get to, yes, as you said, pick the color of all of your pieces. And then you can order spare grips and basket and straps, of different colors. So if you order your base pole as blue, with orange grips and straps and baskets, and you might want green for a different occasion, you can order a set of green ones and just swap them out in a matter of seconds.
Oh, very good. And I mean, switching baskets isn't too terrible. I guess I would assume switching the grips isn't hard either.
The grips, we've made it pretty simple. Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than the baskets. The baskets are just threaded on. The grips are technically threaded on as well, but they have a special pin so that they're not going to come unscrewed as you're going down the mountain. So they have a pin in there, and part of that pin helps hold the straps into the grips as well. So really, if you don't like your straps and you want to go strapless, you can just easily take those out of.
Very good. And that's actually becoming a common feature, I think, is straps being able to become on and off or be taken off or put back on. Some people don't ride them. Some people do. Some people ride them what's technically wrong. I don't even know. Like I said, I don't know what I'm talking about. Ski Rex Media is a learning thing. Doesn't matter how long I've been doing it. Doesn't mean I can know everything. But still very cool. Being able to interchange. I love that. One day you want to ride yellow. One day you want to ride orange and everything. That's awesome. Now, one of the things I wonder is, have you taken any flack yet about this just being like a novelty, or are these poles legit? Like they could stand up with the bigger manufacturers?
I think at this point, I think they could stand up. They are on the, I guess, pricier end of the spectrum for aluminum poles. So we have gotten some comments like, why aren't they carbon fiber or that kind of thing. But yes, part of it is the novelty, and they are a fully customized for Mingos grip, basket, everything. That's part of it. They are just a higher end, I guess, pull on the aluminum side of things. And we've done a lot of through the sort of research phase of this project getting going. I tested out so many different types of poles. One of the other, there's a few companies out there that do the bamboo poles. So those are an option in terms of color. They have colored grips and baskets. So I've tried those. I've looked at their grips and baskets. They're really nothing special. Honestly, the bamboo poles I was actually very surprised by are quite heavy compared to any of the aluminum poles. So we've had that question
Huh.
as well, like, what's the difference between, say, yours and some of the bamboo pole companies that offer the colored grips and baskets. But yeah, they're heavy and you don't have the color on the pole, which is a bummer.
That is a bummer. And I've never used a bamboo pole. While I have worked with bamboo, I have taken it down in big old 8-foot stalks right off the ground. They're heavy, huh? I would never have expected that. Because even those big trunks, those big pieces, those aren't even that heavy. You can throw one of those around.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Yeah, I was surprised by the weight of them compared to the aluminum.
Interesting. Very strange. I've also never used a pair of carbon fiber poles either. Every pole I've ever touched has been aluminum, and it works out wonderfully. I mean, sure, if you whack it hard enough, it's gonna bend. I do have a bent pole, as a matter of fact. I'm not gonna lie about that either. They don't get used anymore. They've been retired. But my new set is aluminum, and they work just fine. Carbon fiber, I guess I get it for strength, but if that breaks, that breaks. There's nothing you can do about that. Plus, wouldn't carbon fiber be even that much more to manufacture, like for
Yeah,
cost?
carbon fiber is definitely more expensive, and I think more limited in the colors potentially. But yeah, and I mean, we're really targeting your everyday skier. We're not trying to target, Olympic athletes who have really technical, fancy poles, or someone who's looking for something, yeah, super technical. It's just like anybody who wants to go out there and have fun and look good.
Excellent. Yeah, and that was actually going to be my next question. That these are primarily all mountain poles. These aren't necessarily something. I mean, you could probably use them in other realms too, but primarily all mountain. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. And that's one of those things that hopefully ultimately in the future, for instance, now our basket size is designed to be just like an all mountain basket. They're not the super big ones for powder, and they're not super tiny. We think they're a good all around medium size. Ultimately, goals as we grow would be to add some different basket designs and different sizes potentially, because once again, yeah, we have the ability to easily swap them out. So if we had those different sizes, we could add a specific larger powder basket to our line, something like that, and you could swap it out.
So not only to be very cool with color, but could become very practical, not having to have 2, 3 sets of poles kicking around your house. You could actually ride one and just be there for powder day, backcountry day, all mountain day, whatever it is.
Yeah,
That's not a
exactly.
bad goal to have.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And what a great idea, too, a modular pole, which, again, offhand, I don't remember if I've seen something like that. There might be, but can it look as cool as yours? That's the question.
Yeah, I haven't found anything out there that competes, so we'll see. Hopefully everyone likes it as much as I do.
Yeah, and I would imagine again the colors are they catch the eye, and obviously if they start getting popular, more people ask about them. You could increase the color palette if you wanted to.
Exactly. Yeah, we're trying to grow a community of skiers. We want there to be a Mingos flock. We want there to be lots of people on the mountains with colorful poles, and you can, give your neighbor a wave when you see that they have cool poles just like you.
Awesome. I love it. Now these come in the various sizes, 110 to 135 centimeter. That should cover just about everybody of average heights. That shouldn't be an issue. 18 millimeter diameter, pretty standard. 75 millimeter diameter basket, like you said, steel tips, 283 grams per pole at 120. So the basic construction is your average, again, all mountain. Very cool. You just look good doing it. And now you can go to the website, which is mymingos.com, mymingos.com, and you can build, and it shows you the custom ski build. It gives you the colors, the pole grip, straps, basket, everything is very easy. And I've done it. I haven't purchased as of yet, but I've been like, ooh, I like this. Ooh, I like that too. But knowing that things can get mixed and matched, it definitely gives you options.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough choice, but it's been interesting to see what combinations people have come up with and what they've ordered, because yeah, I mean, the possibilities are pretty much.
They really are. Now, what kind of kind of an interest have you seen so far? Again, we were just saying this is the kind of thing that's making a comeback in the sport is the bright colors. It's that throwback scene. Have you seen a lot of interest? Have people been like, whether it be on social media or whatever, or, enough orders, people just walking up and say, oh, that's cool on the mountain, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we definitely have some interest. Last ski season, we were testing out our prototypes. So we were on the mountain. My husband and I had them, sent them out with our team of friends to different mountains to try to get feedback on them. And we got a lot of positive response. A lot of people were asking, where'd you get those poles? Those are pretty cool. Those are the most fun poles I've ever seen, kind of thing. So I think there's
Nice.
definite interest. We did launch the pre-sale sort of the middle of last ski season, so it was like a little bit of an awkward time. Unfortunately, the production of things has been a little bit slower than we were hoping for, but especially now that people are starting to think of the upcoming ski season, we're definitely gaining traction. So
Very good. And this season is looking to be a big one. Preliminary weather reports are saying everybody should do pretty okay. For snow, especially here in New England, I think we're supposed to get the brunt of it. I don't know, but I can hope. It should be a good time. So you might want an extra bright color because if it's going to snow every day, you're going to want people to see you. And I hope you do well. I think they look great. And like I said, I think the biggest question anybody's going to have is, can they handle the mountain? How do they ski? How do they feel if I stick it down into the snow and I hit, say we're in New England, the ice coast? If I put it in, will it break? And I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think we've done our fair share of research and testing, and I think people will be very pleased.
Excellent. So where can they get them? Like, you're just currently, again, still in the pre-order phase online at your website. No brick and mortars, no Amazon, no any of that stuff. Just go to mymingos.com, correct?
Correct. That's the only place where we're at right now. We have had some inquiries for some potential spots in brick and mortar places in some ski towns. So, we're working on that potentially, but the brick and mortar store kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into the equation with the customizability, I guess. We gotta figure out the logistics of that. We want everyone to still have all the options in front of them, if you were to purchase them directly in person.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that from a logistics standpoint, getting just pieces and then the display equipment to display those pieces so someone could grab this, that, the other, and then head up to the register.
Yeah, exactly.
I could see that being a problem, but not impossible.
Not impossible. It's definitely not impossible. We just got to figure out the best way to do it. But yeah, right now we're just through the website, and yeah, like I said, we should have everything fabricated in November. So then we'll go to a normal order process.
Very good. Very cool. Very cool. So coming up not too long from now, if you've pre-ordered, they'll be on the way. And if you get into the order, they'll be coming even quicker, relatively speaking.
Exactly.
MyMingos.com. Also on Instagram, Mingos, My Mingo. Is it Mingos or My? I can't remember. Mingos.ski on Instagram.
Mingos.ski on Instagram, and we have a TikTok as well.
Oh, there you go. TikTok too for those who are into that. Check that out with Mingos. Very good. I like it. I definitely want to try out a pair myself and look good doing it. And now that I know that you can mix and match on the fly, may have to get some greens for my vest and some orange for everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
I was surprised though, even though you have the brighter colors, almost an Easter palette. I don't know if that's a real design thing.
It is almost an Easter palette, I guess. Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there like I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just surprised you didn't have the basic black though.
No, we're staying away from the black. Even there will be a couple parts of the pole, like the pin, for instance, and the adjuster on the strap that are not going to be the color. They're going to be white. There's going to be no black on them.
Very good. Getting away from the dark stuff. Get out there with the brights. Have a nice day. The sunshine. Yeah, everything. Exactly. Very nice.
If you want black, go somewhere else.
Very good. Hey, we're not doing basic here. You're doing beyond basic.
Exactly.
Very good. Very nice. So mymingos.com. And then mingos.ski on the Instagram. It's the same on the TikTok, I would assume.
Yep.
Very good. Anything else you want to throw out there before I let you go?
I think that's it. Yeah. Happy skiing, everyone.
Absolutely.
Excited for the season.
Totally. And like we said, When I find folks who make stuff, they're not just in it to make a buck. Of course, they want to make a couple bucks. Who doesn't? But she really does ski. Corinne skis. Her husband
I really
skis.
do ski.
Yeah, she's not full of it. Like, she does it, saw something, is like, dude, I want this, and went and did it. And we could all only wish we could do such things. Very good. Thank you, Miss Corinne. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a good season, and I hope Mingos starts showing up everywhere. Again, she alluded to the fact that there could be some brick and mortar in the works. And in this day and age, if that's happening, that means there is interest. And if there's interest, we'll see them out there. And I hope to see you all out there as well. If you're in the West, take a look. Maybe you'll see Corinne. Maybe you won't. Look for her polls. And if you see me, believe me, it won't be hard. I'm not shy. I don't hide myself. Thank you very much, everyone. Head to skirexmedia.com for all things Skirex Media, including the podcast. Find it on Podbean, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, everywhere you can. Instagram, Facebook, all the same places. And we'll see you later. Miss Corinne, thank you very much to come talk
Thank you.
Yeah, so you knew where I was getting, even though I got tongue-tied. Thank you, Miss Corinne. Skirex Media, and we'll see you out there, everybody, later.